Hello. Today we're going to talk about the blog and other network communications. I'd like to talk about participatory electronic media. That includes things like email, hypertext, semantic web and the Internet of Things, virtual reality, and blogging. Email has been around for a long time. Since 1974, where it was used by the military and ARPANET. ARPANET was the military's version of the internet, and email was its main source of communication. Early email systems required the author and the recipient to be online at the same time in order to communicate. So it was sort of like a telephone in a computer. When internet standards for mail began to mature, the POP, or the Post Office Protocol, servers began to appear as a standard. Before that, each server had its own different POP, and it was important to standardize it so that all these different email systems could work together. Despite what the World Wide Web offers everyone, email remains the most important application on the internet. Email is something that the workforce uses every day. The challenge is getting younger people to understand how important it is. And that's something I try to teach on a regular basis, and I make it mandatory that my students check their email and that we communicate through email, because as of right now, it still is extremely important. Hypertext, or the link as you may think of it. It's text which is not constrained by the linear. It's one of the greatest inventions ever on the internet. It allows you to connect text to text, which is the beginnings of the semantic web, which we'll talk about in a moment. But hypermedia is a term used for hypertext, which also includes graphics, video, sound. Hypertext systems allow users to author, edit, and follow links between different bodies of text. This has been invaluable in research to be able to link to all different sources and different ideas. And now the semantic web. I put a link here, and I put all of your PowerPoints onto Moodle so that if you wanted to go back through anything, you're welcome to. This is a link to the semantic web. The semantic web provides a standardized way of expressing the relationships between web pages to allow machines to understand the meaning of the hyperlinked information. Information is giving well-defined meanings, better enabling computers and people to work in cooperation. So it's really linked data. That's what the whole idea behind the semantic web is to make everything linked together using code. The web of things rather than the web of documents, and the Internet of Things. This is a big deal, and you'll be hearing a lot more about this in 2016. The Internet of Things is the network of physical object or things embedded with electronics, software, sensors, and network connectivity, which enables these objects to collect and exchange data with each other. And I'm going to share some information about that now.
The Internet of Things is changing much about the world we live in, from the way we drive to how we make purchases, and even how we get energy for our homes. Sophisticated sensors and chips are embedded in the physical things that surround us, each transmitting valuable data that lets us better understand how these things work and work together. But how exactly do all these devices share such large quantities of data, and how do we put that information to work? Whether we're improving the production of a factory, giving city residents real-time updates on where to park, or monitoring our personal health, it's the common Internet of Things platform that brings this diverse information together and provides the common language for the devices and apps to communicate with each other. The process starts with the devices themselves, which securely communicate with an Internet of Things platform. This platform integrates the data from many devices and applies analytics to share the most valuable data with applications that address industry-specific needs. Let's start with a simple example, a car. After taking a long road trip, Rebecca notices that her check engine light has come on. She knows that she needs to have her car looked at by a mechanic, but is not sure whether it's something minor or something that needs immediate attention. As it turns out, the sensor that triggered Rebecca's check engine light monitors the pressure in her brake line. This sensor is one of many monitoring processes throughout the car, which are constantly communicating with each other. A component in the car called the diagnostic bus gathers the data from all these sensors, then passes it to a gateway in the car. The gateway integrates and sorts the data from the sensors. This way, only the most relevant diagnostic information will be transmitted to the manufacturer's platform. But before sending this organized data, the car's gateway and platform must first register with each other and confirm a secure communication. The platform is constantly gathering and storing thousands of bits of information from Rebecca's car and hundreds of thousands of cars like hers, building an historical record in a secure database. The manufacturer has added rules and logic to the platform. So when Rebecca's car sends a signal that her brake fluid has dropped below a recommended level, the platform triggers an alert in her car. The manufacturer also uses the platform to create and manage applications that solve specific issues. In this case, the manufacturer can deploy an application on the platform called the Asset Management System. This application oversees all of their customers' cars on the road, as well as all the parts in their warehouses. It uses the data from Rebecca's car to offer her a potential appointment time to service her car, directions to the nearest certified dealer, and a coupon for the service. What's more, the app will ensure that Rebecca's brakes are covered under her warranty, that the correct replacement part is ordered, and then sent to the dealership so it is ready when she arrives. But the manufacturer's analysis does not stop there. They have also deployed a continuous engineering application that tracks not only Rebecca's car, but hundreds of thousands of others, looking for ways to improve the design and manufacturing process of the car itself. If the same problem in her brake line crops up in a critical number of other cars, the manufacturer uses applications custom built for the automobile industry to pinpoint the exact problem. They can see if these cars were made at the same factory, used the same parts, or came off the assembly line on the same day. So what do all these pieces add up to? Streamlined inventory management for the dealer, a better, safer car from the manufacturer. And for Rebecca, it means she can be back on the road faster and get to where she's going safely. All thanks to the Internet of Things.
There are already 3 billion of us connected to the internet. Imagine what the next 4 billion, as they connect, can help us do. There are already 12 billion things connected to the internet. Things, devices, believe it not, like a garbage can, even a basketball. I'll get to that in a minute. Predictions are 20 to 50 billion more things will be connected in the next couple of years. Just think of the possibilities with that amount of connectivity, with that amount of collaboration happening around this planet. What can it have as a positive impact? In fact, the impact is pretty staggering. Some predictions say the Internet of Things and the Internet of Everything can drive $19 trillion worth of economic benefit for this planet. To put that into perspective, that's almost as large as the US and China economies combined. So 19 trillion of good fortune waiting for us if we make a difference, if we accelerate, if we embrace change. But just connecting things creates an awful lot of data, a lot of information, and sometimes overwhelming amounts of data, massive amounts of data. We call it big data. So the challenge we have is how do you get that information, that data, into the hands of people that can make a better informed, educated decision? Teachers, people drilling mines, transportation, think about the things in our lives that can improve with a more connected world. But that takes some responsibility to make sure we get that information into the hands of the right people. So think about the Internet of Things connecting a bunch of stuff, creating a bunch of data, change that data to get the information into the hands of people that can make a difference. Make a faster, better, informed decision for this planet. So let me personalize this for you a little bit. Let me take you back a couple of months ago on why I truly believe there is a tipping point, and I need your help tipping this thing a little faster. Because I think this tipping point can have a great economic impact. It can have a positive impact on all our lives. So the first part of the journey actually was with my son, Alec. And we were at an electronics store a couple of months ago, and on the bottom shelf was this, a basketball. Much to our amusement, thought it was a practical joke about inventory play, something, but seeing this product in this store was very strange for us. So upon further investigation, we realized this actually was a connected basketball. It connects to your smartphone. And as an athlete, as you take a shot, this ball tracks the trajectory of that shot. And it gives you immediate data to say, was that banked high or banked that low? Think about some of the egos on the basketball court nowadays. Nice to bring a little bit of data to that and help them understand, you know what, you're not maybe as good as you think you are, adjust a little bit, right? So amazingly beneficial. So it becomes a personal coach, it becomes a tool for coaching, but think about it, right? It's a connected device that brings information to someone that can make a difference, make a better informed choice, improve the game of basketball. Good news is this now is turning into the connected soccer ball. So my daughter Ella is in the audience here today, budding fantastic musician and student as well, but a budding soccer player. Connected soccer ball can help you improve your kick, the trajectory of that ball. So connected devices helping you improve your sport. But then I had the good fortune of going to Barcelona. Beautiful city in southern Europe, right? One of the most beautiful cities in the world. But some of you might know Spain has not been in the best economic shape for the last couple of years. How troubling Barcelona was. Average unemployment was at a staggering 29%. Unemployment between the age of 18 and 35 was a very sobering almost 60%. Horrendous. Barcelona itself was on the brinks of bankruptcy. So they had to do something different. And the mayor, along with some other leaders, with some partnerships, collaborated and said, we've got to change. We've got to drive some change. We've got to do things differently. We've got to look at things we've done for decades the same way and figure out, can we drive change? So the first was the connected bus stop. Okay, Wi-Fi at a bus stop, what's the big deal, right? But it was more than that. It was actually a digital sign that you looked on and said, where is the bus? Did I miss it? Have I got some time? It was more than a digital sign because you were actually connected to the community. So if I was delayed for a bus and had 20 or 30 minutes to spare, could I get text from the local coffee shop or the local pizzeria to take advantage of that? So as a tourist or a commuter, I felt more connected to the community. The community got a benefit from me. It was a better connected experience just from a bus stop. We then walked down the boulevard and came to the connected parking space. 30 to 40% of traffic congestion in cities around the world, especially Western cities, and people like me and maybe you driving round and around and around trying to find that elusive parking space. In Barcelona, that does not happen anymore. You have an application, as you get within city limits, what a surprise, right? Green says there's parking, red says there's not. But it's more than that. As you park and you stabilize, the city gets the revenue. They get a parking automatically debited from your account. Afraid to say, if you overstay your welcome, you automatically get that parking ticket as well. So Barcelona has changed something, an archaic thing that they did for many decades, into a profit-generating experience. It was a walk down a beautiful boulevard where I saw a garbage can, actually a little bit bigger than this with a sensor on it and a connected garbage can. Why, oh why do you need a connected garbage can? So, tourism, right? What would make that beautiful backdrop not look so good? Right? Stinky trash, garbage, right? They've collected garbage in Barcelona the same way for decades. So they said, boy, if we can get information from our garbage and track the capacity, is that full or empty, maybe we should go pick up the full trash first. And maybe we don't need to burn the fuel going to empty garbage cans and picking them up. So what it was, a very simple concept, actually reduced the amount of garbage they had, spilling over into the streets, affecting tourism, lowered their operating costs incredibly, and, by the way, improved their greenhouse effect, right? Their carbon footprint was saved as well. This connectivity thing was getting me kind of excited. There was a tipping point. There are things being connected that even I was amazed about. But I know there's a couple of you in the audience out there thinking, you know, all this connectivity, all these cameras tracking where I am, Sounds a little George Orwellian, 1984-ish. So I'm an optimist. I truly believe we figure these things out. I truly believe you can make a difference to help figure this out. Because you shouldn't feel worried about it. We will figure this out. Guess what? When another 4 billion people get on this internet and help us start collaborating, when we connect the unconnected to have 20, 50 billion devices connected, think of the great things that can happen. Think about how the world can benefit from $19 trillion worth of economic benefit. I'm very optimistic about the future. But we're not just here at TED Talks to get entertained. I'd like to challenge us to do something about it. We've talked about tipping points all day. Tipping points need help. They need to be pushed. They need to be tipped. They need to be accelerated. So if there's this amount of economic benefit, if this really can change the way we work, live, and play, why would we not do something about it? Why would we settle for second best? Why don't we challenge? Why don't we vote? Why don't we tweet? Why don't we spend our money? Why don't we have an expectation that this experience should have a better impact on all our lives and this entire planet? Thank you very much.
Now I'd like to talk to you and show you a little bit about virtual and augmented realities. Virtual reality is the immersive, multimedia or computer simulated reality, replicating an environment that simulates the physical presence in places in the real world. This is putting on headgear. This is creating an environment such as gaming, that you are inside the world. Here's an example.
2015 is year zero for virtual reality, and 2016 is really year one. There's definitely a big wave coming, and you can viscerally see the reaction that consumers have when they try virtual reality, as well as how excited the creative community is getting already. You're going to see a number of hardware manufacturers that are releasing their headsets, and that's kind of really the beginning of a whole consumer adoption wave that we see really spiking as early as 2017. We're seeing VR adoption across a number of different industries, actually. It started out initially primarily as a gaming experience, but very quickly one of the surprises in VR in the last 12 to 18 months is the extent to which cinematic storytellers have gravitated towards the medium. In terms of a market opportunity or a market size, there are more people today that watch video than play video games. And we think that in some respects, virtual reality will follow a similar pattern, that although gaming will be huge, no doubt, that in terms of accessibility, there will be that many more people that are using VR to check out new travel destinations, to immerse themselves in journalistic experiences, education, etc. Generally, this feeling that Hollywood sometimes is late to the party when it comes to new technologies, I think with virtual reality it's a bit different. We'll definitely see virtual reality movies very soon. There are a number of studios in Hollywood that are working on virtual reality experiences, and it's really what a lot of directors and storytellers have been craving for. They've been craving for really putting you, the viewer and the audience, inside of the experience. I don't think a day goes by that there isn't some new company, some new technology, content experience that is available in VR from all over the world. And so we're really on the cusp of a super, super exciting time. The wave is coming, and it's a big wave.
So augmented reality, or AR, is a live, direct, or indirect view of a physical real-world environment whose elements are augmented by computer-generated sensors. You could use sound, video, graphics. I've been teaching a class in advanced technologies, and we're using Erasma. Don't know if you've ever seen or heard of it, but it is a program that you can put in a still picture and you can put in a video, and you could augment them together so that when you put your phone on the picture, your phone's camera, it comes to life in video. It's a pretty cool thing. And here's what's going on in augmented reality.
This is the 2015 Hyundai Sonata, and this is the new virtual guide. It's sort of a digital owner's manual that helps you do things like check how much oil is in the car or fill up the windshield washer fluid. If you wanted to replace your air filter, you tap on air filter. It'll show you what you need to do and walk you through the process. And you can even put it down and it'll still show you the steps. So you can put your phone down and still have it walk you through it. So now we're inside the car. It'll show you what the different switches do, and you can pan around and see just about everything. For example, you can look at the indicator screen, and it'll give you a map of all the different lights that might turn on and tell you what they do. If you're not inside the car, or you just want to get an overall map of everything that's going on, you can go to this pictorial index, and it'll just show you everything in the car, and just like before, you can tap on it, get more information, and even videos that'll show you what everything does. For someone who's not familiar with it, this can be really helpful.
And here's the future. And then there's blogging. The link here is to the TED Talk that is on Moodle for you to see on blogging. More than 8 million Americans report that they blog either a personal blog or an online diary of some kind. Active bloggers in the U.S. have reached the audience size of primetime network television. Active rather than passive consumers of media create identities, interaction, involvement, and self-expression. Blogging has taken on a resurgence lately. It was popular when the internet first went Wi-Fi, and it got a little unpopular for a while because people got tired of just listening or reading other people's information. And now news and commercial entities have picked it up, and they are now blogging about their goods, their services, and such. So the cultural impact of blogging is it creates niche communities. People with common interests are no longer isolated geographically. They don't have to just stay in their community to follow a cause, to get involved in something they care about. For personal expression, no longer do you have to use mass media publications to be heard or to write. And civic and citizenship. Blogs connect people with news they want to hear about. Not only does your nightly news or even your news organizations online tell you the news you want to know, but if you have a specific niche that you're involved with, you'll find out what you want to hear. And the business evolution. Blogs help business connect with their communities. And that's all we have for this week. There is no assignment since this was a very long lecture and a lot of video to watch. And all I ask is that you go to the forum and post a blog and follow the directions there, and you'll have your midterm exam. Thank you. Have a great day.